Banquet video managers and put together by Zach Finelli. Great job on that video. Well, what a season this was, from opening day through the victory over Navy. So many magical moments. Army is now 11-4 in its last 15 Service Academy games. Black Knights have defeated Navy 6 of the last 8 years. 5 times over Air Force in the last 7 years. For just the 4th time ever, 2nd time under defensive coordinator Nate Woody, Army held both Air Force and Navy to 11 points or less. The special teams unit, led by Sean Saturnio, ESPN ranked 5th in the nation. This senior class finishes with 30 victories, a 6-2 record against Academy rivals, 2 Commander-in-Chief's trophies, 2 bowl appearances, and who could forget the Armed Forces Bowl win over Missouri. And now to talk about this season, we'd like to welcome the leader of the Army football program for the last 10 years, the head coach of the Black Knights, Jeff Banquet.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Everybody that's joined us, we're so glad to have you here, and we're here to honor these seniors in this season and this team. So it's going to be a fun night. Thanks to General Gillen, who's not here, General Reeves, General Robinson. They're all actually traveling this week, along with our athletics director Mike Buddy, our senior leadership team. What an incredible job they do supporting this team and really providing opportunities for all of us. The leadership team of ODIA and Army West Point Athletic Association, thanks to them. Our command sergeants, Major Beretta and Craven. Our head officer representative, John Baskerville, he's here with his wife, Shalisa. Our OR team, many of those members are here tonight. Thanks to Jen Guzman, our executive assistant, who without her, this banquet would not go on, so she does an incredible job. So thanks to Jen. Also, Kyle Highland and Clayton Kenner Combs, our chief of staff, director of football operations, or operations, as Coach likes to say. Rich DeMarco, the Army radio team, his team that support us, and you know, Rich gets up here and talks about everybody else and thanks everybody for their contributions, and what a contribution that Rich makes. So thanks to you, Rich. Father Matt, Chaplain Polk, and what they do to lift us up and support this team in a way that really nobody else does. Jimmy Belladone and the maintenance staff that take care of our building and our fields. DCA for a great meal, thanks to those that prepared and served this meal to us tonight. The members of the media that are here, we've got several of them that have joined us, and they follow us all year, and what they do really to provide opportunities for our program to get out there, to be recognized and noticed. Our special guests from the Army Football Club. So we've got several graduates that work here. They're here on campus with us every day. We've got several others that came to join us tonight, including the legend Rolly Stitchway, who's here tonight. He's going to help us stand in for the soup and hand out some awards. So Rolly, thanks for being here. Our players and their families. We've got some family members that are here, parents. Really appreciate you joining us tonight, and just thank your parents, you guys that are on the team, and what they've done to prepare you and give you this opportunity to put you in position to be able to come to West Point and be a part of this program. Our coaches and the great job that they do, their families, their spouses, and how they support our coaches. My wife Beth, my 3 daughters, and what they do to support me and give me the opportunity to be the coach here. And I promise you, it's a team effort, and they're putting in a lot of effort behind the scenes to support me and support our team. Thanks to the United States Military Academy, the U.S. Army. Those are the brands that we represent. And we're fortunate to represent that institution, and the United States Army, the most formidable fighting force that this world has ever known is the United States Army. We get to represent them every day as a part of this program and part of this academy. Know that your families are really proud of you. A lot of them are watching. We're streaming this event tonight. and gives them an opportunity to share in the celebration for you guys. But thank them and know how proud they are of you and those that know you, your friends, your coaches, your teachers at home, the folks in your community, your pastors, and just they are proud. And they tell people at home that they know you, that you're here, and how proud they are. You know, to be associated with West Point is truly an honor and a privilege. And I certainly see it as that, and we all should. The opportunity to attend West Point, it involves a lot of people. And almost every one of you and your journey here has leaned on a lot of people to help you. You mentioned your parents and coaches and teachers. But there are people here at West Point before you ever get here that support our team and help you get here. And one of those guys is Gene McIntyre. Gene is, he's been a part of this institution for decades. Was a player here, was a coach here. I'm gonna ask Gene, is Gene here? Did he make it? Didn't make it. Gene, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Gene McIntyre. He's class of 1979, played for Homer Smith, earned 2 varsity letters, served on active duty for 13 years, and was ranked a major. Came back to West Point as a coach, won 42 games as the prep school coach, or excuse me, as the sprint coach. And then for the past 30 years has been in admissions with the athletic department. The last 26, he's been the director of recruiting and admissions and an associate athletic director for those 26 years. So nearly 40 years of service to this academy in a leadership role, and literally thousands of cadets, including every player that's here. He probably supported your file going to the admissions department. And so we've had a lot of people help influence our opportunities to be here and created those opportunities, but Gene's been a part of every one of those. So a great thanks to him. And unfortunately he's not here. We got a signed ball that we're going to present to him, and we'll get a chance to do that. But many thanks to Gene. So if Gene's watching, we can give Gene a round of applause. I appreciate it. Now that he's retired, he's probably back at home on the computer in the chat rooms, figuring out what I need to do on third down, like all the rest of the people on the chat rooms. He's not employed anymore, so he can do that. We're here to celebrate the 2023 season and our seniors. The 2023 season, it was led by our seniors, and they're a tough, resilient group of guys. I really admire our senior class. We had a challenging start to the year, but we had a great finish to the season, and that was what made this season special. It's the way we finished, and we continued to battle through, starting 2-6 and finishing 6-6. Certainly not where we wanted to start, but just exactly like we wanted to finish with that big win at the end of the year. We've got mentally tough and self-disciplined people, and when you have that, your organization finds a way to persevere, and our guys did. Win those last 4 games. Once again, the Army-Navy game in a battle to the very end, and the toughest team won. That's why we won. We toughed it out, and we found a way. Several players this year received individual honors, so we got those to recognize for their performances. 18 different players scored points, 15 players scored touchdowns, 49 different players recorded a tackle. We were the 18th ranked red zone defense in the country, had the 23rd fewest pass yards given up nationally, the 7th best rushing offense in the country, 5th in the nation for fewest penalties, 3rd for most block kicks with 4, as mentioned, the 5th best special teams unit in the FBS, the 4th time in school history to hold both 4 times in the history of the program, this is over 125 years, to hold both Navy and Air Force in the same season to 11 points or less. So 2 of those times have been under Coach Woody. So great job by Coach Woody. He's done a tremendous job for us, as was mentioned earlier. What we all accomplished together. We beat Air Force. That's the 5th time in 7 years. We beat Navy. That's the 6th time in 8 years. And brought the CIC home for the 4th time in 7 years. So that was a great finish to the year. And that's a compliment and a testament to everybody here. This night's for the seniors. We're going to recognize each of them, along with saluting our teammates who received individual honors this season. Our seniors, as was mentioned, 30 victories in their career. That's 35 best in the country. So it's 35th out of 134 teams. So that you're in great company. 20-6 at home. The 20 wins over that course of time is 17th best in the nation. 2 outright CIC trophies, 6-2 in CIC games, a Lambert Trophy, which is the top team in the East, 2 bowl games, contributed one of the longest home winning streaks in Army football history, 2 weeks in the top 25, spent their prep school year or freshman year in the midst of a global pandemic, and they're still here. And they've endured that. 20 of these players, 20 of these seniors we're going to honor, have made the dean's list at one point or another in their career. So this is a group of guys that not only have excelled on the football field, but off as well. I'm going to start by talking about our support staff. So many of our managers, and these are the unsung heroes in our program. Just as many of the people that I mentioned earlier in the introductions don't get their names called in the paper, and most of the public don't know they exist. These folks I'm going to talk about first are those that are behind the scenes, and they serve our team. They do it with an incredible heart for service and just love being a part of this team. So I'm going to start with our video team. We got a chance to see a great video. And this team of folks help us every day. They film the games, they film the practices, they help create highlights every day. So I'm going to ask each person that we're honoring tonight to come on up. I'm going to hand you a coin, and you'll be recognized, and then we'll make your way, start over here, make your way down the steps over here. So first, Jackson Everett from West Palm Beach, Florida. Jackson's been with us for 3 years. He's worked on highlight films as well as films for the coaches, which isn't easy to do. He's a really hard worker and dependable. He branched armor, and he's going to Fort Cavazos. Am I saying that right? You got it. You better be able to say that right. And that's in Texas, so great job. Grayson Gilder, Alpharetta, Georgia. So Grayson transitioned from a player to being a video assistant for us, and that's not an easy thing to do. But humility is one of the tenets of this program. He embraced his role. He's trustworthy, he's positive. He helped train a lot of the younger cadets that were coming in as video coordinators in that area. He branched infantry and going to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Good to see Grayson's uniform fits again. This guy's gained a lot of weight and fitting back in that clean uniform. Gabrielle Picado from Long Beach, California. Extremely reliable, was a valued member of the team, though she was just with us for 1 year. Gabrielle branched air defense. She's going to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. John Zell Prudhomme, Houston, Texas. John Zell's a former outside linebacker. So Chris Jan, our video director, says that John Zell's the hardest worker he's had in the department. Great attitude, positive energy, never complained. Control your attitude and effort. We all got control over that. What an example he's been for his teammates here. Also worked with our recruiting staff, did a great job with them, and did a great job representing the Brotherhood with countless prospects. Probably some of you guys that are younger guys here, John Zell was the first player you met, first representative of the program. He branched FA, and he's going to Fort Sill as well. Riley Strand, Rockford, great state of Illinois. She's one of the 2 head managers for video. She created highlights, did coaches film, and set up at the hotel for me. The trifecta, did all of it for us. Great leader, extremely dependable. She's branched military police, and she's going to Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington. All right, our training room staff. Abby Gash, Huntington Beach, California. Bradley from West Point. She's got a dad here that's stationed here. She's just 1 year as a manager for us in the training room on the hydration team. And she's a triathlete. So training for a triathlon, that's no joke. If you've ever watched those things on TV, the Ironman, where they swim, then they bike, then they run, she's on our triathlon team. And she volunteered, in addition to do that, to serve our team. Help with practice, help with games, and made Army football a priority. She's branch engineers. Bree Hall, Deltona, Florida. So TK saw me before this event tonight. He said, Coach, Bree Hall, the best we've ever had. She's incredible. Hard worker, always there. Just one of the best cadets we've ever had working our training room, and couldn't say enough about the good things she did to help our team and the way she served. Been with us for 3.5 years. The head cadet manager in the training room, always looking for where help was needed and stepping in. An active leader should do that, and she did that throughout the time she was here. Loves Army football. She too branched engineers. Rena McKenzie, Leona, New Jersey. A 2-year manager, always on the move in practice. You see her going from one station to the other, one group, the other, walking the lines. Had an eye for attention to detail, really hard work and dedicated to the program, and she branched transportation corps. All right, our equipment staff. And I tell our guys all the time, the work that our managers do, a lot of it, our guys have no idea what's going on. But we come back from an away game and we drop everybody off down at the Arvin gym, and they make their way back at 3 in the morning, sign back in on CIS or whatever you have to do on the computer. And staying on the bus are all the managers. They go back up to the stadium, unload the buses, get all the laundry out, and they go wash clothes until 10 o'clock in the morning, no sleep. Then our guys come back for practice on Sunday, and all their clothes are there washed and cleaned. And then after practice, they turn their dirty clothes in, and it's our managers and equipment staff that's washing those clothes again. And nobody realizes that's going on. They think just magically clean clothes are showing up in their locker every day. There's somebody doing that, and that's our equipment managers. And just the job that they do to serve. And so I really admire this group of guys and young ladies, and just appreciate their efforts. So first up, Dayton Ball, Walton, Kentucky. So Dayton Ball was an outstanding high school player, was an offensive lineman for us, and transitioned and became a 3-year manager. The pride he took in his job, you can see it. The humility to transition to that new role he displayed. It was evident, and our guys really admire him for that too. It's what the brotherhood's all about. It's serving the team, whatever role you're asked to do. And he's just willing to do anything to be a part of the team. That's why he's standing up here. Branch Starmer's going to Fort Stewart, Georgia. Ty, I'm going to butcher your name. Ty, is it Brock? Brocky. Ty Brocky, Boulder, Colorado. Come on. He was glad to go to Boulder this year. Go back to his hometown. Served for 2 years as a manager, but also served as an academic tutor. So obviously he does good in school. Helped our players, helped other managers. Really smart problem solver. Worked with the safeties and the entire defense, and he branched the infantry. Aiden Gaines, Rome, Georgia. like Dayton, another great example of leadership and humility. Injuries kept him from being able to continue as a player. He wanted to serve the team. He's the first guy to assist our football ops team, so we had a little change in the way we operate with our meals. So we serve many of our meals upstairs for those that aren't in the program or around every day. But on the 4th floor, we cater in meals, and our guys get a great meal every evening. And we used to have folks that would be able to serve that. Well, we lost that service. So we had to call on people in our athletic department and our football program to do that. And so head of operations, Aiden Alfer and Kyle Highland, they kind of took that on. They started recruiting some guys to do that. And Aiden was the first guy to do that. Now let me tell you, the humility that it takes to be on the team, to be in the locker room, to dress every day, to dress out for games, and then to be standing there serving food to your teammates and cleaning up and washing dishes in the kitchen after it's done. You know, that's not a job when you get recruited that you're thinking about, man, that's the role I hope I get. But he loves this team and wanted to serve this team. So anything that was asked of him, he was willing to do. And because of that attitude and positive spirit, other guys joined him. They saw him having a great attitude over it, or about it, and they did it too. And so now we've got guys that are stepping up and willing to help us in that way, serving the team. And I'm really proud of him. He never complained. He values service over self, and that's why he's going to be the lead officer. He branched armor, and he's going to Fort Bliss, Texas. Major Green, Castro Valley, California. I'm waiting for him to get promoted to major so they can say Major Green. He's a 2-year manager. You guys should have thought of it first. Not bad for a PE major. Worked with the quarterbacks and the offense. He's always the guy spotting the ball during the offensive team periods. Really likable guy. Smiles a lot. Everybody on the team knows who this guy is. If he wasn't such a likable guy, he wouldn't need friends, because this guy's always talking to himself. I'm around this guy, and I'm over at practice, and he spots the ball, he's talking to himself all the way back. And then the play's over, and he's going to spot the ball, and it sounded like he was talking to somebody. And sometimes some colorful language comes out when he's talking. And I finally asked him one time, I said, "Who are you talking to?" He goes, "Oh, coach, this is between me and myself." He assured me he was okay. I asked him if he was okay. He said he was okay. And he is. He did a great job. Works his butt off. We're going to miss him. Branched Infantry. Really proud of this guy. Walt Harris, New Orleans, Louisiana. Walt was recruited here as a quarterback, transitioned to the equipment room, became the head cadet manager, always the first guy in, always the last guy out. So all the other cadet managers that he leads, he's going to be the first guy there. He's going to be the last guy out, as a leader should. Knows the program in and out. Takes great pride in his responsibility and his role. Been through a lot of challenges. During the pandemic, Walt lost his dad. Some of you young guys may not know that. And just the attitude and the spirit that he maintained, it's never wavered. Awesome guy. Really proud of him. Branched Field Artillery. And we're going to miss you, my man, but he's coming back. You coming back as an AI? How about that? We get this guy for one more season. Tyson Welch, Somerville, South Carolina. Assisted with the offense, took on any job that Tommy threw his way. He's a quiet guy, but very confident in his job. Obviously spent some time in the weight room. This guy, he was the model for some of our uniform photos. This guy did a great job. He was the guy I thought Major was talking to. This guy never talks. Major did all the talking. Branch Adjutant General, really proud of this guy. We'll miss you. All right, Rican XJ. Savannah, Georgia. Played his high school ball in the Atlanta area, but claims the great city of Savannah. Recruited and played wide receiver for us for 3 years. 23 career games, 6 catches, 72 yards, a touchdown. His touchdown coming in the very first start of his career versus the Citadel. Had 30 rushing yards as well, in addition to that. Blocked a punt versus Mercer in 2020. Had an injury that compelled him to step away from the field, so he took on a role, assistant coach Smith in the receiver position this past year. Did a great job. And became really the go-to signaler for us. He was the guy in practice. Guys probably see this guy signaling plays in their sleep. And he was also one of the sideline signalers during the game. So we obviously relied on him and put a lot of responsibility on him. He did a great job. He branched ordinance. He's going to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. All right, with the players. Starting us off, probably appropriately. In his 11th season with the Black Knights this year, Sam Barzak, Tyrone, Georgia. We couldn't sign him to a new contract, so he's finally going to retire. I can't say enough for how this guy's grown as a leader. He's always been a guy that can keep people laughing, keep the room loose, but he used his personality really to positively influence others. He's competitive, he's tough, he's a rough edges kind of guy, but I really admire how fatherly and loving he is around his son Matthew. It's incredible to watch and to see. Played 35 games, 3 starts, 3-time letter winner, played every position on the offensive line. He branched armor, and he's going to Fort Cavazos. Billy Belky, punter, Cleveland, Ohio. Billy Belky's the latest that can do everything on special teams guy. Punt, kick, hold, whatever was necessary. He was the leader of the specialist unit this year. 23 career games, earned 2 varsity letters, starting punter as a junior, averaged 38.3 yards per punt, lost his starting job as a senior, but maintained a winning attitude, continued to lead. Has been the starting holder for the last 2 years, and he made a lot of kicks look really easy for our kickers. Didn't always hit the exact spot where it needed to be, but he always got it down there for those guys and did a great job for us. Branched infantry, he's going to join Sam at Fort Cavazos. Tyler Brennan, slot receiver, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. When the pandemic was in full swing, Tyler was a prep player. So that spring, he built a homemade platform with our Army logo on it. He sent me some pictures of it, which it was legit. His freshman season, his freshman season, he really showed promise athletically. He was repping on special teams in practice along with reps to slot back. We had that pandemic year, the last part of the year, that COVID hit us. We had 25 guys out for the Army-Navy game, 25 guys out for the Air Force game, 25 guys out for the bowl game, and it wasn't the same 25. And so Tyler found himself in the mix as we were getting prepared for the bowl game. And we had some guys that were in the gulag that got out, and some experienced guys that had played. And we told Tyler, we said, look, he hadn't been home. He hadn't been home didn't go home for Thanksgiving, hadn't been home for Christmas yet. And here we're rolling into December 27th. We said, Tyler, if you want to go home, you can go home. He said, no, coach, I want to go to the bowl game. And so that told me a lot about this guy, how much he cared about the team, how much he loved football. He traveled with us to the Liberty Bowl, gave up his vacation time. Really a prime example of perseverance and mental toughness. We cut him after his sophomore year. And man, is that difficult to go through. But he didn't give up. He kept working, kept training. He returned, he came back his senior year. Played in 3 games, but he meant so much more to us than that. And really just the example he is. Caught a pass for 25 yards versus Dell State. Earned his first letter this fall. He's going to stay on as an AI for us this season. Branch Infantry going to Fort Johnson. Jacoby Buchanan, running back, St. Charles, Missouri. As has been coined by Ross Tucker of CBS, fire the Buchanans. One of the best short yardage backs in college football. One of the best in college football. It's 4th and 1, it's 4th and Kobe. And we coined that phrase around here because this guy, he didn't lose a yard. Not just the power, but also his feet and athleticism, which people see a big guy and he's plowing guys over, but he's got really good feet and good vision. In my opinion, one of the best short yardage backs in the nation over the last 5 years. Countless physical runs. But what I remember the most, we ran to Belly down near the goal line against Missouri, his home state, and he absolutely trucked a guy. I mean, off his feet, on his ass, excuse my French. The next guy tried to tackle him, we wrapped him up and drug him into the end zone for a touchdown. One of his many touchdowns. 50 career games, 11 starts, 1,570 career rushing yards, 4 varsity letters, 27 career touchdowns. That's 7th in Army football history. Had a career high versus Liberty in 2021 with 3 rushing touchdowns. The Phil Steele preseason all-independent teams in 2021 and 2023. It's going to stay on as an AI for us for this season. Branch Field Artillery in Fort Carson, Colorado. And he's going to keep that town up, an Army town like it belongs. Good job. Shane Buckingham, O-line, Decula, Georgia. Might be hard for some of you that don't know, he was a quarterback in high school. Recruited to Army as a tight end. I remember when we played a game at home, he was a senior in high school, and he's walking around the locker room after the game and meeting everybody, who's this big tall guy? And said, oh, he's the quarterback for Decula. I said, the quarterback? We recruited him as a quarterback. I said, no, he's going to be a tight end. I said, man, that's great, big long guy like that. Well, then he grew it up. He ate his way into being an offensive tackle. He had his best season this year. Earned 2 varsity letters, 23 career games, 15 starts in the last 2 seasons. Going to stay on as an AI in the fall. Branch to FA, and back close to home, Fort Stewart, Georgia. Nakai Butler, D-line, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Effort and toughness define this guy. We recognized it early in his career when he had to battle the starting offensive line every day in practice on the scout team, and he did. Those guys would be so mad at him every day at the end of practice because he wouldn't let up. He just kept fighting and kept making them better. And he would tell them, I'm going to make you better, I'm going to make you better. Admired by his teammates because of his grittiness. Didn't play a lot, but provided depth at all the D-line positions. Earned his first letter this year. Played in 5 career games, but I promise you he was ready for all 49 of them. Branch FA, going to Fort Sill, so I guess we'll see you in Tulsa. Jimmy Charlo, Ringwood, New Jersey. Jimmy's a team captain and embraced that role. He did a great job for us. spearheaded a lot of the community outreach projects that we did. Moved from safety to the nickel position. He had his best season this year. Very confident player. Opposing coaches recognize that. I had opposing coaches this year that asked me about him and would mention him by name or his jersey number in press conferences. Always working to improve, became a really solid tackler as a senior, 3-time letter winner, 40 career games, started all 24 of the last 2 years. 24 starts, all of them coming in the last 2 seasons. 58 tackles just this year in 2024, 5.5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, had a forced fumble. His best games were the Army-Navy games. In 2022, as a junior, 9 tackles and a half of a tackle for loss. This year in 2023, 7 tackles and a TFL. Second team, Phil Steele All-Independent, Branch Infantry, going to Fort Drum right here close to home. Vache Daniel, wide receiver, Ball Springs, Texas. Quietly became one of our offense's most valuable players. And you say wide receiver, and people are looking for all these stats, how many catches, and here that means something different. You got to be gritty and tough. You got to be physical, and that's what this guy is. There's a sign in our receiver room that Jeffy Jeckham, who was a receiver here as well, one of the most physical receivers we've had, he had this sign that said, Army football, or Army West Point football, home of the most physical wide receivers in college football. And that's a source of pride for that room. And Vache really embraced that. He's a tough guy. He's one of the most physical wide receivers in college football. Outstanding blocker. He was hard to defeat in a one-on-one matchup. 26 career games, 7 starts, respected by everybody in the program. Branched Engineers, going to Fort Riley, Kansas. Simon Dellinger, Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's another high school tight end who grew into an offensive tackle. I'm not sure he embraced it at first, but he grew to realize the impact he could make on the game and be a starter at offensive tackle. I'm really proud of how he toughed through some really difficult times in the transition. Got his weight to up over 300 pounds this year as he played 30 career games, 4 starts. In 2022, all came last year. 3-time letterman, Branch Field Artillery is going to Fort Bliss, Texas. He couldn't fit that uniform a month ago. Good job. Fort Jackson. Jackson Philipowitz, offensive line, Alpharetta, Georgia, the only guy on our team that's got a restaurant named after him. Come on, Jackson. Flip's got a sandwich named after him. Flip's got a restaurant named Smoke Jack. Smoke Jack is the restaurant. What's the sandwich? There's like 5 of them. There you go. He's one of the many guys we've had in a long line of players from Blessed Trinity in the Atlanta area. Grayson Gilbert's another one. A state champion wrestler, so high school state champion wrestler. There's a lot of arguments in this room about where the best wrestling is, but let me tell you, see this guy, man, he's a scrappy dude. His scrappiness, his toughness, his ability to stay on his feet, his balance, that really helped him become a very good Division I offensive lineman. And he's not real tall in stature. I remember when he came on his visit, that guy's an offensive lineman, holy smokes, we're gonna have to put some weight on that guy. He did, he worked at it. Earned 3 letters, 34 career games, all 23 starts came in the last 2 seasons. There were taller, bigger players that lined up across from him, couldn't beat him. Second team, Phil Steele All-Independent. Honorable mention All-Independent team by the College Football Network. He branched infantry, he's going to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Isaiah Felici, D-line, Waipahu, Hawaii. Boost is one of the strongest players on the team. He's fun to watch in the weight room. This guy, he can throw some weight around. When Isaiah spoke in front of the team for the first time, we give the seniors an opportunity to do that. Some of the leaders on our team. I was really surprised. He's a fairly quiet guy, but man, was I impressed. Just what I perceived as a quiet, reserved guy was replaced by a professional, confident leader who everybody respected. Unfortunately, he battled injury almost his entire career. That's frustrating for him. We wanted to get the most out of this guy. At one point, we even moved him to offensive line. Thinking, we got to find a way to get this guy on the field. He became a regular on the travel squad for the last 3 years. Ultimately, obviously, moved back to defense. 19 career games. Started the opener against Coastal Carolina in 2022. Earned 3 letters. He's branched engineers. He's going to join Jacoby out there in the Army town of Fort Carson, Colorado. Chris Frey, Canyon Lake, California. You meet Chris for the first time, and you think this guy's got a grudge against you. You're trying to figure out what you did to make him mad at you, or if you stole his parking place and you didn't know about it, or just accidentally ticked him off. This is kind of Chris. But he's also one of the most caring people you'll meet. He loves his team, loves his teammates. Other players on this team would be really surprised at how often Chris comes to me, still comes to me, about other guys on the team. Concerns about other players, not himself. Never has come in there and talked about himself. I need this, I want this, I got this problem. It's always about somebody else. And he loves his team, genuinely. Physically, very tough player. Battled through a lot of injuries. I mean, I knew times when he'd come running on the practice field, he was hurt. I knew before games times he was hurt, and he would battle through. Kept carrying that black flag even through all that. 4-time letter winner, 45 career games, 28 starts, 69 career tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss. Made a huge play in the start of the 2022 Army-Navy game, which kind of set the tone for the defense. Branched engineers, which is exactly what he wanted, going to Fort Liberty, North Carolina. Quindraylon Hammonds, Covington, Georgia. Beloved by his teammates. He's a productive player. He's contributed for several seasons as a Black Knight, a true leader on our team, and a playmaker. 4-time letter winner, 42 career games, 23 starts, 129 tackles, 64 of those this season, 11 of those in the BC game alone. 6.5 tackles for loss, 4.5 of those were this season. 2.5 sacks were all this year. 3 interceptions all this year, which was tied for a team high. 10 passes defended, 7 of those were this year. Started all 12 games as a senior. The 64 tackles he had this season were 3rd highest on the team. As I mentioned, the 3 INTs tied for 1st on the team. Became only the 3rd player since 2025, so it's almost 20 years, to log 60+ tackles, 4+ tackles for loss, 2+ sacks, 3 interceptions, and 4 passes defended in the same season, joining Elijah Riley and Brandon Jackson, 2 very good players. Was all ECAC, all defensive team, the only guy on our roster to do that this year. First team All-Independent, College Football Network, first team Phil Steele All-Independent. Great leader for our team. Branch Signal Corps, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, going down there with Nakai. Austin Hill, Memphis, Tennessee. Motor's always running with this guy. And the gas pedal is always mashed to the floor. That's the kind of way he lives his life and the way he played his football career. He's recognized for his fierce competitiveness, and we saw that even as a freshman on the scout team. So we recruited him as a linebacker. And unbeknownst to most guys here, he probably has told the stories to as many guys who listen. We moved him to wide receiver. This was before the Army-Navy game his freshman year. So he's kicking the crap out of everybody on the scout team. Physical, running sideline to sideline from the inside linebacker position. And so we said, let's see if we can get this guy to line up and mash a defensive end on the toss or blast an outside linebacker on a perimeter play. And ultimately, he found his way back to defense and made his way to defensive end. And that same motor never stopped. He gained a lot of weight, gained a lot of strength. His quickness is what made him so formidable. Caused a fumble on the goal line in a 2022 Army-Navy game, setting up the win in overtime. It was a huge play. In the Army-Navy game this season, had a season-high 6 tackles and half a sack, 31 games, 17 starts, 3-time letter winner, 76 career tackles, 3 forced fumbles, and I knew he would. Branched Infantry, Fort Stewart, going down there with Buck. We had some great team captains. He was one of them. Cam Jones, Carson, California. Cam played corner, was a multi-year starter. Perhaps he's more talkative around his teammates, but he's a pretty quiet guy around us, at least around me. His personality comes out when he plays, though, that's for sure. You see him, he gets that energy and that spirit when he plays. Started on special teams early in his career. He found himself in the mix at corner pretty early. 4-time letterman, 45 career games, 28 starts, 7 interceptions, including 1 interception each year he played here. 136 career tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 16 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, 4 recovered fumbles. That's quite a stat sheet. 2nd team All-Independent for the College Football Network this year as a DB. Honorable mention punt returner by the College Football Network this year. He branched air defense, going to Fort Sill, joining Q and Nakai down there. Spencer Jones, Austin, Texas. When I visited Spencer in his senior year, he was recovering from ACL surgery, so he's sitting in a chair with his leg propped up. And unfortunately, his career kind of ended the same way, with an injury this season, and he couldn't finish the year. He's only able to play in 3 games this year, and he battled the training room more often than he hoped during his tenure. But he played a lot of football for us in between those injuries. He's a 4-time letter winner, 26 games, 13 starts, and maybe the smartest guy in terms of his branch. Branched FA, but this is the part you really like. Schofield Barris or White. I don't know why everybody doesn't choose that as number 1. Good job. Josh Lingenfelter, Panama City, Florida. Had an opposing DC, the defensive coordinator last season, before one of our games said, "Where's that tight end 88? I want to buy him a beer." He said, "He's the toughest guy I've ever seen in college football." And he's right. This guy, he's physical, plays with a chip on his shoulder, played 37 career games, 24 starts, 4-time letterman, Pro Football Focus. That's the analytics of player performance. So they analyze every player in the NFL, every player in FBS football. Tabbed him as one of the best blocking tight ends in the country this year. 5 receptions, 157 yards, 2nd team Phil Steele All-Independent team. As we all expected, a new branched infantry, Fort Cavazos, joining Sam and Billy down there. Bo Lombardi, Clive, Iowa. Look this guy up on YouTube. You'll see a video of his high school senior year going 11 of 14 for 178 yards as a quarterback, getting interviewed after the game. He's the high school quarterback. Just beat a big rivalry. You look up another video and you see one scrappy dude on the mat winning the state title in Iowa, which you guys can all argue all you want. One of the best states, if not the best state for wrestling in the country. He wins the state championship as a high school wrestler. In January of his senior year, his dad, who I've known for many years, pretty much my whole career, he calls me. And he said, Jeff, I got a son I want you to check out on film. He said, I don't think he can play for you guys. He's a high school quarterback, but you look at the film and just tell me what level you think I ought to be pushing him. You know, as a Division II, Division III, FCS. So I said, sure. He sends me the film, I look at it. I take it to Coach Davis, our offensive coordinator, he looks at it. And said, well, we don't think he's a quarterback. Not sure he's a running back. And Coach says, you showed me that film of him wrestling. I said, yeah. He goes, how about center? So I called his dad, and I said, Tony, I said, you know, I think he's probably a Division II quarterback. He's a tough guy, really impressed by his wrestling film. You think he'd consider playing center? And the phone was silent. And then finally, after a few seconds, Tony says, I don't know, I'll ask him. So he calls me back 30 minutes later, he says, yeah, he'd be interested. And I said, okay. He said, you guys offer him? I said, yeah, we'll offer him as a center, but he's got to go to the prep school. He said, all right, can we come visit? I said, sure. They're there 2 days later, they come and visit. So Bo chose to go to the prep school and started to bulk up while he was still in high school, bulked up while he was at the prep school, and played every position on the offensive line. 24 career games, 2 varsity letters. These guys that are his teammates would attest to the fact they respect Bo as much as anybody on this team, and so do I. Branch Infantry is going to Fort Carson, Colorado. Leo Lowen, Austin, Texas. What's obvious is how much Leo's contributed on the field. He's meant a lot to our team, especially the last 2 seasons, but he's been equally as impactful off the field as a team captain and a trusted leader. He led a lot of the off-the-field efforts on campus and in the surrounding communities, along with Austin and Jimmy. 47 career games, 27 starts, earned a letter in all 4 seasons. 235 career tackles, that's 30th in Army football history. Led the team in tackles in each of the last 2 seasons. Forced fumbles this year, 4 forced fumbles this year, is 3rd most in the country, and tied for 4th all-time at Army. He's a finalist for the Campbell Trophy, the MVP of the Army-Navy game as a junior, 1st team Phil Steele All-Independent team, 2nd team All-Independent College Football Network this year, was 2nd team All-Independent in 2022, played in the College Gridiron Showcase this year, which is an all-star game in January. Branch Infantry, also going to Fort Carson. Quinn Moretsky, Honolulu, Hawaii. What a career. So just this season, 11 of 13 on field goals. That's 18th best in the country for percentage. And perfect on PATs. It's been a journey for this guy. At one point, Quinn left the team, and he was leaving West Point. As is often the case, the investment that he made to that point kept him here. So he returned to the team and certainly made the most of the opportunity. As a junior at Troy, missed a 42-yard field goal with a few seconds left in the game. And that affected him deeply. He cares about this team. He practiced that kick 1,000 times. 1,000. I mean, I see him out there looking out for the weight room windows, and he's out there practicing that kick from the left hash. Time and time and time again. He wasn't going to miss it again. Hit a 37-yarder with less than 2 minutes to go to tie the game in the Army-Navy game a year ago. And then banged home the game winner in the biggest kick of his career to win the game on a walk-off. Played in 34 games, earned 3 letters, 25 of 31 career field goals, career long of 47 yards this year in the Army-Navy game, which we needed to win the game. Second team Phil Steele All-Independent Team, honorable mention College Football Network All-Independent Team, branched engineers going to Camp Humphreys in Korea. Ijon Marshall, Baltimore, Maryland. This guy loves playing the game. Played the game with a lot of spirit and energy. Several roles throughout his career, whether it was special teams, kick returner, slot, receiver. 34 career games, started 9 of those games, earned 4 varsity letters, 455 career rushing yards, 181 of those this year, 313 receiving yards for a 19.6 yard average on his career, which you got to have enough catches to qualify to fit into stats, but that would be the best in the country. 5 TDs, 2 TDs of 50-plus yards to open the 2022 season, including a 77-yarder against UTSA. He branched armor going to Fort Riley, Kansas. Cole McCutcheon, long snapper, Phoenix, Arizona. This is an example of how patience in development leads to success. So Cole was really very undeveloped as a long snapper. Snapped the ball, needed to gain strength, needed to gain speed on the snaps. And when he got here, it's really hard to project. You get a specialist, you see them on film in high school, and they come in here as freshmen, they go through beast barracks, and like everybody, beats you down a little bit. It's hard to project. And I don't know that we ever projected that he would grow into being as good at his craft as he did, but you can't stress the importance of a long snapper enough until you don't have one. And he did a great job for us. It's an underappreciated job, one of the most underappreciated jobs in football. And he has improved as a player as much as anybody in this graduating class. Earned his first letter this fall. He's played 13 games, started all 12 this season as our snapper. Branch FA going to Fort Cavazos in Texas. Alex Meredith, Anderson, South Carolina. Alex, a very talented quarterback out of T.L. Hanna High School, home of radio, if you've seen that movie, as well as our own Coach Woody. I first visited with Alex and his dad, his grandfather, his brother. They came on a visit, and they're my office, football family. Alex committed to us, played at the prep school in 2019. And he decided he was going to concentrate his efforts after that year in other areas at West Point, and he stepped away from football. He returned to us in 2022 with a desire to rejoin the team. He played on the scout team as a receiver all that season. We changed the offense, we moved him back to quarterback. He had a great spring, just this past spring. He really was positioned to contend for the starting quarterback job. When he came out of the spring, he had a good enough spring that we were very encouraged. We got into preseason camp, had a freak injury, and ruptured his Achilles tendon. A non-contact injury, but it ended the season for him. He stayed on. We asked him to take on another role, and he did. And he assisted our coaches. Was in the press box all season, was out of practice every day, charted plays, helped our coaching staff. He didn't get to play, but his teammates respected that toughness, and so much that he was selected by the Leadership Council to carry the black flag in the Army-Navy game this year. He branched infantry, which We all knew he would, and I'm really happy he got it. People said if he didn't branch infantry or didn't get it, he was going to quit the Army. So I'm glad he got infantry because what's that? He was going to enlist. He was just going to say, bag it and enlist. That's how much this guy wants to be in the infantry and go fight, which I respect. I respect greatly. So he's my kind of guy. Fort Campbell, Kentucky for this guy. Jabari Moore, now that his West Point football career is over, he's likely has more of a presence on social media. He's been banished from social media the last 4 years, which is a story for another day. What I want to tell you is how proud I am of this guy. You know, Jabari and I had a conversation back when he was a freshman tied to this social media thing. And he did it. Though likely very reluctantly, he did it. He adhered to the guidelines as far as I know. But he became a very impactful player. So he went from a guy that had to be reprimanded for something that was off the field and didn't let it affect him becoming a really good player. So this guy can play with anybody on a Saturday afternoon, I believe that. When his pro scouts asked me about guys on our team, he was one of the first guys I mentioned. And I saw Elijah Rowley go through this program. I think he's built the same way, great skill set. But he built himself into that. He wasn't ready when he was a freshman. Played in 58 career games. That's more than any West Point football player in the history of the program. 58 games. He earned 5, not 4, 5 varsity letters. He started 44 games. 44 games. 165 tackles, 111 of those were solo tackles. 6 interceptions, 26 career passes defended. That ranks 4th in Army history. One of those passes defended was the game winner in the final play of the 2021 Air Force game in overtime. Had a scoop and score versus Cincinnati in 2020. The guy's done it all. Second team Phil Steele All-Independent Team. Second team College Football Network All-Independent Team. 2021 first team Phil Steele All-Independent Team. I am incredibly proud of this guy and how he's persevered and had a great season as a senior and how he could be counted on and relied on the professionalism that he brought to the field every day. He wasn't like that as a freshman. Most of us aren't. But this guy went through a lot of stuff and took a lot from me, a lot from Coach Dixon, and you know, he really embraced it. And he's going to do a great job in the Army. He branched field artillery, he's going to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Bo Nicholas Paul Irvington, New Jersey. Bo's grown up and matured as much as any player I've seen since I've been here at West Point. I asked Bo to step up into a leadership position, into a role this year, and I was really pleased to see him embrace that and take it seriously. He's been a productive player on special teams and on defense. Earned 4 varsity letters playing both corner and safety, but he really cut his teeth on special teams. Started out there, 35 career games, started 7. 4 interceptions in his career, and a team high 3 interceptions this year, along with Q, including a pick 6 versus ULM, which is our first TD of the season for our team. Had 2 in the win over Air Force this year. 53 career tackles, 8 passes defended. First team Phil Steele All-Independent Team. First team College Football Network All-Independent Team. Played in the Tropical Bowl Collegiate All-Star Game in January. Branched Armor, going to Fort Riley, Kansas, joining Veche and Ajan. Camden O'Gara, who's not here tonight, but we'll give him a round of applause anyway. Cincinnati, Ohio. This guy's kind of the Albert Einstein of linebackers for the triple option. Playing his first couple of years on the scout team and seeing it every single day. He got in those academy games and he was a machine. Just really intelligent, confident, mastered that defending that offense, scout team player, and it carried over in his academy games, and he played in many of those very well throughout his career. Battled injury, had surgery, including a club on his hand, continued to play through it. Two-time Letterman, 16 career games, 2 starts, led the team with 8 tackles versus Troy a year ago. Branched engineers, and he's going to Vilseck, Germany. How about that? Good job. Jackson Powell, Buford, Georgia. Great high school player from a great high school program. Jackson was very highly recruited. In Buford, Georgia, if you know, that's a stop for every single FBS school in the country. They're going to go through Buford, Georgia. Had a brother that played here. And so that helped us secure a commitment from Jackson. Suffered an ACL injury early in his career here, which I hated to see, because he really, as a freshman, we saw this incredible promise in this guy, and it set him back, which those injuries have a tendency to do. But he saved his best season for last, and it really had a great season this year. Jackson made plays this year that we needed, and when he was injured, we weren't sure those were ever going to show up. But they did. He had 25 career games, many of those on special teams, and then 11 starts all this season. Earned 2 letters, 41 career tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4.5 of those were this year, many of those on the highlight film. 3 sacks all this season. Had 3 solo tackles versus Air Force this year, including a tackle for loss for -7 and forced a fumble. Branched FA, going to Fort Riley, Kansas. That's the 3rd different branch at that post. Good job. I'm gonna miss seeing your folks. They were always there to greet us when we got off the bus. Every place we went, they were loyal and were there. Great family. Darius Richardson, D. Rich, Tampa, Florida. What a journey for this guy. At one point in 2020, we'd settled this guy was going to play offensive line. With our depth where it was on the D-line, we had good depth. And D. Rich at that point, young in his career, was down on the depth. We thought his best chance to contribute and play right away was to make that move. Fortunately, it didn't work out. Another example of development and mental toughness. Recovered the fumble that was caused by Austin Hill on the goal line in the 2022 Army-Navy game. See him come out of that pile with that ball above his head. One of the most important plays of the season. 3 varsity letters, 34 games, 11 starts, 29 career tackles. Just a true tough guy on the inside. Branched FA, going to Fort Drum, joining Jimmy Charlo down there. Tyson Riley, running back, Mount Vernon, Missouri. We end up with 2 running backs in the same state, in the same class, that set a new standard for running backs in the triple option. Jacoby and Tyson Riley set a new standard for that position. Tyson's a tremendous athlete, played multiple positions at the prep school. You see him lining up at B-back and running the dive. And then you see him lining up at quarterback, and he's running the quarterback ISO. This guy did it all. Ended up playing multiple positions for us. Most known as a dynamic B-back in the triple option offense. Played that position most of his time here. He also played slot, tossing the ball at slot. Spent most of this season, unselfishly, playing H-back. You saw him on the highlight film catching some touchdown passes. He's one of the best athletes I've coached at West Point. And he's one of our best football players in the last several years here. Great hands, excellent quickness and balance. He's a physical player, 4-time letter winner, 39 career games, 19 starts, 817 rushing yards, 5 TDs, a career best versus Villanova in 2022 with 159 yards on 21 carries, 3 TD receptions this season, including the one in the Army-Navy game, the first passing touchdown in that game since 2015. Rushed for 112 yards this year, dusted off the cleats and got back to be back. 112 yards versus Coastal Carolina on senior day. Branched FA going to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. He's also going to join us as an AI in the fall. Dalen Smith. Dalen Smith, Fort Valley, Georgia cornerback. Come on, Dalen. I remember recruiting Dalen from Peach County High School. People didn't know there was a Peach County High School, and if you ever had to drive down I-75 South, you wouldn't know it was there either. It was way off the beaten path. But there are some great football players come out of Fort Valley, Georgia. Earned a varsity letter for us this year. Played mostly special teams over the course of his career. He's one of those guys, like guys in the NFL, they keep signing a new contract because they're so reliable and they're great team guys. And that's what he was. Always ready, always prepared, great technician, really smart. And man, I'm glad we had him on our team. Coach Saturnio had him on every special team, and that guy, probably right now, he's doing special teams, being called out every single job on every single special team. That's how much pride he took. Branched Aviation, going to Fort Novosel, Alabama. Nate Smith, Fort Washington, Maryland. Wisely came to America's Academy from the state of Maryland. Nate was so impressive as a freshman on the scout team that he got moved up late in the year to work at outside linebacker with the travel squad. Just really impressive. Hands, feet, obviously his length. I don't remember if he traveled that season, but it did not take him long to find his way into the lineup. Had to develop physically, grow mentally, move to defensive end, which isn't an easy move. Had a great career for us. Saw him a bunch on the highlight film this year. He was on that highlight film a year ago and the year before that. Played a lot of football for us and meant a lot to the team. At one point, I wasn't sure if he was going to play again because of injury. He'd been on the training room report. He had this foot injury that was really bothering him. And man, I just appreciated his toughness and his willingness to fight through that. Maintain a positive attitude, especially this season, through that injury. 4 varsity letters, 46 career games, 9 starts, 70 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks. Branch Engineers is going to Fort Riley. Cole Talley, Rockwall, Texas. Cole's one of the few specialists that's transcended the ranks of position players. He's a tough, gritty football player. When Eric Sapensky sent me the stats, he by accident was put in there with a defensive line appropriately. Cole's lifting group included the linebackers and the fullbacks. So he could hang with all of those guys in the weight room. Earned the job as a starting kicker as a freshman. He was our kicker against the University of Michigan, kicking field goals and extra points against Michigan as a freshman. Not easy to do. Finished his career as a senior with 37 touchbacks this year, breaking his own school record from a year ago. 8 of 11 on field goals in 2021, including the game winner, buzzer beater versus Missouri in the Armed Forces Bowl. 44 career games, 4-time letter winner, 2nd team College Football Network All-Independent team. Branched Infantry going to Fort Johnson, Louisiana. Cole had a heck of a journey here, but he's built for the Army. And he didn't realize it when he first got here, even after the first couple of years. And I wasn't sure he'd stay. But he's now as excited about what's ahead for him as anybody here. And his story is a testament to this brotherhood. And he'll tell you that's why he's here. The relationships that are forged in this team and how much that compels us to want to carry on even when it's difficult. It's proof that each of you that are here, you choose this path because you seek something more. It's not about how people can serve you, but how you can serve others. Where others look for the comfort and convenience of what's easy, you endure the toil and strain of what's hard. Because that's what leads to victory. And victory matters. Winning matters. And that endures. And that will endure the tests that are going to come in your life beyond football. And ultimately it prepares you for what you're going to do and to succeed where others will fail. It's toughness, it's grittiness, it's being willing to do the things that are hard. Be willing to do the things that other people aren't willing to do to get the things that you want or to do the jobs that need to be done. That's what gets you to success. And that's how you'll succeed beyond this place where others are going to fail. That's why we win an Army. Because we got tough people. They're willing to do the hard things that soft-minded people aren't willing to do. And I think this senior class is a great example of that. They've been great leaders. They've been a great testament to the things we believe in this program, the tenets of this academy: duty, honor, country, do right, do your best, show people you care. Can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence? Do you care about me? That's how you win. That's how you win in football. That's how you win in the Army. That's how you win in your relationships. That's how you win in life. That's how you win as a businessman. That's how you win as a coach. And that was the example this senior class set and have set over the course of their career. And so they have earned the right to be called the last of the hard. And they are. So let's have one more round of applause for the senior class. Call back my good friend Rich DeMarco, and we're going to get into some awards here, and we'll have some folks that'll come up and help us with that. But we got a lot of guys individually to honor, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Coach Monk, and as Coach mentioned, a lot of folks to honor. We're going to need some help, so we're going to welcome up Army Sports Hall of Famer, West Point class of 1965. And a two-time Army-Navy game MVP. Won it twice. Rolly Stitchway. So let's start with our first award of the night, and fitting with Rolly up here, the most valuable player of the Army-Navy game. Let's welcome Caleb Fortner. Army-Navy game MVP to MVP up here, right? Congratulations, kids. We were fortunate enough to have two postseason All-Star Game participants. First, we'd like to welcome participating in the Tropical Bowl, Bo Nicholas Paul. Showcase, Leo Lowen. Congratulations, Leo. Now we're going to present the College Football Network All-Independent Team honorees. We have certificates due to some supply chain issues. The trophies literally will be here tomorrow for All-Independent Team honorees, but we have certificates for you tonight. So we'd like everyone honored here to come to the stage. First, the first team selections, Quindraylon Hammonds and Bo Nicholas Paul. Congratulations. And our second team selections, Bryson Daly, Leo Bowen, Cameron Jones, Max DiDomenico, Jabari Moore, and Cole Talbot. Congratulations. Time now for the Phil Steele All-Independent Team honorees. Again, certificates, trophies, literally, will be here tomorrow. On the first team, Connor Finucane, Quindraylon Hammonds, Leo Lowen, and Bo Nicholas Paul. Congratulations. Our second team selections, Phil Steele All-Independent, Jimmy Charlo, Bryson Daly, Jackson Filipowicz, Joshua Linkenfelter, Quinn Moretsky, Jabari Moore, Kanye Udo, and Jabril Williams. And time now for our regional and national honors. think he's close to the stage. He'll have to come back. The ECAC Division I FBS Rookie of the Year, Kanye Udo. Congratulations. We talked about the Army Special Teams being one of the best in the nation. Matrix Analytical Solutions, first staff All-American, Special Teams Coordinator Sean Saturnia. Leader of the Sauce Team. Congratulations, Chris. And lastly, the trophies and the badge coming tomorrow. The College Football Network 2023 Independent Coach of the Year, Jeff Banquet. Amazing honors, cadet athletes, and coaches. Time now for the individual awards. I'd like to welcome Deputy Athletic Director Trisha Brandenburg to present our first award. It's the Creighton W. Abrams Memorial Award, presented to the team captains in memory of General Abrams, class of 1936. This year's captains, Jimmy Charlo, Austin Hill, Leo Lowen, and Connor Finucane. Connor not with us here tonight, but we have the other three captains, Jimmy, Austin, and Leo. Congratulations, guys. Our next award is Lieutenant General Garrison Davidson Award. It's presented to the graduating senior who maintains the highest military grade while being further distinguished by his excellence in the areas of honor, country, sportsmanship, and leadership. This year's winner, Camden O'Gara. Unable to be with us tonight, but congratulations on a tremendous honor. Now I'd like to welcome Athletic Academic Support Coordinator Jocelyn Zineski to present the Major William C. Whitehead Jr. Memorial Award. This award is presented to the graduating member of the Army football team with the highest class standing. This award is sponsored by Mrs. William C. Whitehead. This year's winner, Leo Lowen. Congratulations, Leo. Time now for the Thomas West Hammond Memorial Award. It's presented to the outstanding lineman for the season. This award is sponsored by the late Mr. Chester Hammond in memory of his father. This year's winner, Connor Finucane. Connor not present here tonight, but congratulations on a great honor. I'd now like to ask Assistant Coach Danny Verpel to present our next award. Welcome back, Coach, and welcome to the stage. The Colonel James B. Gillespie Memorial Award, presented to the player who displays outstanding dedication, unfailing performance, and consistently contributes to the Army football team. This year's winner, Quindraylin Hammonds. Congratulations. Next, I'd like to welcome Army Football Head Officer Representative Colonel John Baskerville to present our next award. It's the Colonel Joel B. Dopey Stevens Memorial Award, presented to the outstanding football players on the scout team. This year's winners, Lloyd Benson III for offense and Cody Harris Miller for defense. Congratulations, great job. Now I'd like to welcome Defensive Coordinator Nate Woody to present the Anthony Miller Coaching Staff Award, presented to the most inspirational player on the Army football team as voted by the coaching staff.
What an honor, to go out here and work with these guys every day, and then to come up here and present this award for Anthony Miller as an inspiration that he was when he was here, and be able to talk to you a little bit about the guys that have come out on the field and given everything they got, and learned how to lead at one of the greatest leadership institutions in the world. The guy that I'm going to give this award to is a guy that is a leader. He's a captain for us defensively, for our team, and he was a guy that we moved from one position to another early in his career, and he did it without any problems. He took the task. He became bigger, stronger, faster, and he stepped up into a starting role for us and did a wonderful job out there making plays. But even more so as a leader. He stood up, and in a time where at 2-6, that's a time where you got to have great leaders. And he was a guy that stepped up and helped us finish the season out on a great note. And I think that in that last ball game, times where during ball games or just before ball games started, I would always stand up and speak to our defense. So just to let them know that we're behind them, and let them know that we believe in them. But in the Navy game, this guy stood up and spoke to our team, our defense, and just let everybody know that this was going to be something where it came down to the end, and that we were the tougher team. and that's the way it was going to be. And sure enough, that's the way it ended. And when he steps up and talks, people are inspired. He didn't just tell you this is, to do this or do that. He inspired others, and it's great pleasure of mine to present this Anthony Miller Inspirational Award to Austin Hill.
Congratulations. Awesome. Next, I'd like to welcome Connor Hughes, Army football head strength and conditioning coach. Come to the stage to present our next award for the Army Football Lifter of the Year.
It's an absolute honor to present this guy an award. He's one of my favorite kids I've ever coached in the weight room. Toughness, humility, effort, execution. This is Army's football's recipe for success. The Lifter of the Year this year absolutely embodies those four attributes. He did not miss a rep of training from January of 2023 all the way through the end of the season, the entire year. As a lineman, that's absolutely outstanding. It's unheard of to do that. His steadfast determination, toughness, and leadership were critical in shaping the never-quit mentality of this team. The Lifter of the Year, Ball Bonnie.
High school quarterback, wrestler, center, and now Lifter of the Year. Congratulations. Next up is the First Lieutenant Chase Prasnicki Memorial Award, presented to a first-class cadet on the Army football team who embodies the values of loyalty and the selfless service of First Lieutenant Stephen Chase Prasnicki, West Point class of 2010. Emily Gann, Chase's widow, who historically has presented this award, can't be with us tonight. In her stead, I'd like to welcome assistant coach and teammate of Chase Prasnicki, Mike Vitti.
Tonight, I get to present an award named after my teammate and one of my life heroes, First Lieutenant Stephen Chase Prasnicki. As Rich mentioned, I'm standing in place of his widow, Emily, who 2 mornings ago delivered her 3rd child, Colton Michael, into the world, so she has a good reason for not being here, not an excuse. And certainly to represent Chase's surviving family, Debbie Arthur, his mom, David, father, Tyler, his brother, and Lauren. This award is given to the senior who represents the way Chase lived as a football player and his time in service. If you want to be like Chase Prasnicki, be loyal. Loyalty is the gateway to trust. Chase had a way to instill trust into any environment he found himself in. He created psychological safety in this program, in his teams, and certainly in his personal life. If you want to find Chase today, go to the front. Selfless service. Chase knew in 2006 what he was getting himself into. 2 wars in, Chase knew what that meant by making the decision to go to West Point. He came in as he came in as a highly recruited quarterback, transitioned to a safety, and played special teams most of his career. But I remember him preparing our defense year in and year out for the Air Force game and the Navy game, serving as a scout team option quarterback. 3 days prior to his tragic death on June 24th, 2012, Chase volunteered. Chase volunteered to go to the front. Chase volunteered to go on the patrol that ultimately took his life in Wardak province in Afghanistan. So as you players ask yourself that philosophical question, go to the front, you'll find Chase. And finally, the last value that Chase lived by was teamwork. First, the team. We all met this brotherhood, this organization, in very different ways. We inherited something beyond recognition. Legacies, giants, a way of life, a DNA. That was given to Chase, and Chase left it better. The work. That's doing your job. It is your job to make this team work. Army football players past, Army football players future cannot do that. That's what Chase leaves you, the 2024 team, with. The work, the disciplines that must go in to make this team work. Chase's life provides us an azimuth and a blueprint in which we so humbly take with us forward and forever. This year's recipient, who most closely resembles those values, hails from Austin, Texas. Please welcome to the stage, Leo Lowen.
It's a tremendous honor to be even named in the same sentence as Lieutenant Chase Brzeznicki. I know the guys in years past who've gotten this award continue to carry on his legacy. I'm extremely proud to be among this group of a bunch of guys who will continue to carry on his legacy in years forward. He just seems like an absolutely tremendous leader, tremendous warrior, something that our team values and will continue to value. And it's what makes us our brotherhood. It's what makes us who we are. And I'm so thankful to have been a part of this team, been a part of this program, and be able to represent the way that we are. Chase Brzeznicki has taught us to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. Thanks, Mike. Congratulations. Next, the Black Lion Award. It's presented to the Army football player who best exemplifies the character of Don Holler. The award is sponsored by and established at West Point by the Army Football Club in conjunction with the Black Lions Association, which provides this award to hundreds of high school football players each year. I would like to welcome Associate Head Coach John Luce, who will read a letter from Ms. Katie Fellows, daughter of Don Holler.
I like to read, just not in public in front of a bunch of people. So bear with me. Good evening. My name is Katie Fellows. I am the second of 4 daughters of Donald Walter Holler. My husband Dan and I are sorry we missed this evening's event. We love coming to West Point for the annual football banquet. It is a wonderful time to come together to celebrate the successes of the last season and look forward to the next. It is a privilege to bestow the prestigious Black Lion Award upon an outstanding individual. It is essential to recognize the profound impact and legacy of Donald Walter Holler. My father, a former Army football player, epitomized the spirit of the Black Lion through his remarkable life and legacy. Don Holler's story is one of extraordinary courage, selflessness, and sacrifice. Born on August 3rd, 1934, in Buffalo, New York, his journey to greatness began at an early age. He excelled athletically, demonstrated remarkable talent on the football field, the basketball court, and the baseball field. My dad's time at the United States Military Academy was marked by an exceptional leadership and dedication to excellence. He quickly earned the respect and admiration of his peers and coaches alike. As a standout football player, he led by example, displaying unparalleled skill, determination, and relentless work ethic that inspired those around him. When asked to move from the end position from which he received All-American honors to move to quarterback, a position he had never played, he stepped forward and selflessly put the team before himself. However, it was not just my father's athletic prowess that set him apart. It was also the character and integrity that truly defined him. He embodied the values of duty, honor, country, courage, and commitment in everything he did, both on and off the field. His unwavering dedication to his teammates and his community made him a true role model and leader among his peers. Perhaps my father's most defining moment came during his services in the United States Army in 1967 during the Vietnam War. My dad made the ultimate sacrifice for his country. Tragically, he was killed in action on October 17, 1967, while trying to rescue his men during a battle with the Viet Cong. My father's legacy lives on as a testament to the values of team before self, courage, and sacrifice that define the Black Lion Award. His unwavering commitment to duty, his extraordinary leadership, and his ultimate sacrifice serves as an inspiration to all of us. This year's award winner was grown into a great leader, a player over a 4-year period. He has become one of our absolute best players. He was relentless in his film study and overall preparation. He always did the extra to become as skilled as possible as every job he had, whether it was special teams or on defense. He will go on to be an outstanding leader and officer in the United States Army. Congratulations to Jimmy Charlie.
What a tremendous honor. I mean, words really can't describe. Similar to Leo said, being put in the same sentence as for him, Lieutenant Chase Bresnicki, and then for me, Don Hollader. I mean, words really just can't describe. How honored I am to be put in this place, and I just want to thank all you guys for putting me up on your shoulders these past 4 years and making this such a memorable experience, and just allowing me to be just even a small part of your life. So thank you guys.
Congratulations. Coach Munkin will present our final award, and it's the Thrusted Hughes Memorial Award, presented to the most valuable player on the Army football team as voted by his teammates. Established in 1939, this award is presented during the awards convocation. This year's winner, Leo Lowen.
So, Coach just reminded me this last time I'll ever get to talk to the team like this. So, first off, I want to thank the coaches who have made this program what it is, specifically Coach Beatty, Coach Hughes, Coach Saturnio, Coach Juice, Coach Woody, Coach Munkin for me have made a huge impact on the man I've become, the player I've become, and just how much this program means to all of us. The second people I want to thank are my parents, my family. Words really can't describe how much they've done for me, how much they've supported me. and how much they continue to do for me going forward. I'll never be able to thank them enough. The last people I want to thank is just my teammates. People who have sat in this room in years past, the people who sit right here, right now. How much you mean to me, just to be able to cross paths with each and every one of you, has meant the world to me. And I think we're all truly blessed to be in this room today, to be able to know each other. It's not often you get to be surrounded by such a high-quality group of people like this is right now. I'm looking forward to what happens in the future. I mean, our time is done. We've worked hard, as you guys will continue to work hard, but there's a lot in the future for you guys, and these are some of the best memories you'll ever make. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen, but life after this, like, you might as well give it everything you got while you got it right now. So, be Navy.
Congratulations, Leo. How about a round of applause for all of our Army football 2023 award winners. We spent tonight honoring the firstclassmen, looking back at this memorable 2023 Army football season. We all know 2024, the season right around the corner. With that, I'd like to welcome back Jeff Banquet.
Last year I told you about this little newspaper clipping that we had on a magnet up on our refrigerator when I was a kid. And there's a little cartoon, and it talked about the 4 seasons. Pre-season, regular season, postseason, and off-season. That's how I grew up, a football kid, a football family. So here we find ourselves again. We're already practicing for the 2024 season, defending the CIC trophy, as it should be every year, playing in the American Athletic Conference with an opportunity to play for a different championship than we ever have. There's excitement, there's challenges, new teams, some familiar foes. Let's be determined to be the tougher team. Let's be determined to be the most fundamentally sound team. Win the close games. Win the fourth quarter. Punch adversity in the face. Win the CIC again. Not let Army beat Army. Because if we do that this year, and we do that every day, it'll be the best year that this academy has ever had. Have a great evening. Be Navy. Everybody please stand for alma mater.
That's a wrap of the banquet. Just a reminder before the alma mater, our firstclassmen, coaches, guests, they're invited downstairs to Crest Hall for a post-event reception. Also ask that the firstclassmen and award winners please come up to the stage for a group photo and seniors pick up your uniforms. They're in numerical order in the back of the framed jerseys. With that, before we say goodbye, let's stand for the West Point alma mater. Please come to the stage for a group photo. Thank you everyone for coming out until the 2024 season. Go Army, be Navy.
Congratulations. Congrats, man. You won everything. Hey, dude.
Pass tomorrow. Pass tomorrow. I'll wait to say hi.
Yeah, this is right.
I'm a member, obviously.
Great job. Nope. Set the condition. My wife stays in place. Good work. I was ready to run through the wall.
It's like, this one's hard. I know his family really well, so I'm like, they don't, well, and I know, like, I'm like, they don't want it to be softer, but I'm also trying to, like, it's hard to give, like, a firing talk. Memorial. Like, I won something.
You did it. You nailed it. Absolutely. How you doing, Bill? You all right? Yeah, I'm good, man. The mind can only absorb what the seat can endure, right? I'm watching this. I will, yeah.